How many of us remember Gideon in the Bible? Gideon was a judge of Israel. Gideon got married to a lot of wives. A lot of wives. And so in the end, he was giving birth to 70 children. I cannot even imagine the terror of having 70 people call you daddy. But let's skip that part. And so he gave birth to 70 children, and his concubine gave birth to one named Abimelech. So the 70 sons of Gideon, they were in Opera. Abimelech, he rose up after the death of Gideon. And he came to his mother's people, the people of Shechem, the men of Shechem. And he said to his king's men, will you want 70 men to rule over you, or you want just one? Remember, new people brought out. And after he said that, they thought about it, they considered it, and then they brought the idea to the other men of Shechem, and they saw something good with the idea. So he said, okay, they gifted him silver, and he bought men, bought people that would be following him up and down. A foolful guys. When he bought those people, they now made him king. After they made him king, this guy went to Opera. Yes, when his father stayed, when he was alive. He went to Opera to his brothers, and he killed all 70 of his brothers on a stone, except from one, Jotham, who ran away. On a stone, he killed all his brothers. That's a very gory sight to think of. But then let's continue. And so after killing his brothers and Jotham ran away, he heard everything that happened. Jotham heard everything that happened. So he stood on the Mount Gerizim and he shouted out to the men of Shechem. And he said to them, men of Shechem, listen to me, so God will listen to you. You people had the mind to do this to Gideon's sons, a man who was very just and good to you people. Let God be the judge here. This man, he risked his life for you people. Saved the people from the people of Midian. People had the cause to reward him like this. And then he told them a story. The trees wanted to make a king for themselves. And so they went to the olive tree and they said to the olive tree, come and be a king over us. And the olive tree said to them, do you want me to leave the beautiful wine that I am producing and come and reign over people and just wave over people? Then they went to the vine tree. The vine said the same thing. Do you want me to leave the sweet wine that I'm producing and come and reign over people? They went to the fig tree and the fig tree said, no, I cannot leave the sweet fruit that I'm producing and come and reign over people. And then they went to the bramble. The bramble is a shrub, a very low thorn bush. They said to the bramble, come and rule over us. And the bramble said, if you want me to really rule over you, if you are very intentional about me ruling over you, then be ready to stay under my shade. Or if not, let fire come out of me and consume it, people, even the cedars of Lebanon. And so after that story, he said to them, since you have done unjustly with Gideon, who was so good to you people, God will be the judge. Abimelech will send out fire from him and consume you people. You people will send out fire and consume him, and all of you will be consumed. And that was the curse. After he cursed them, he ran away and hid because he did not want Abimelech to catch him and kill him. And so Abimelech reigned. Abimelech reigned in Israel for 3 years. And at that point, God began to sow the seed of distaste and resentment between the men of Shechem and Abimelech. And soon they hated him. So they were feasting one time in the temple of their god Baal Berit. And they were feasting in that temple and they got drunk and they began to curse Abimelech. And so there was a man there, a man called Gal, the son of Ebed. And this man, he heard them cursing this guy. They loved the guy. They loved Gal. They put their confidence in him. And so when he heard them cursing Abimelech, he was like, who is this Abimelech? Is he the one that should be ruling over you people? He's not the one that's supposed to rule over you. In fact, he should come out, let's fight. And so there was a man there, Zebul. Zebul was the governor of the city. And when he heard what Gal was saying, he was angry. And so he sent messengers to Abimelech. And the messengers secretly went, told Abimelech that there is a man who he's here. He's saying nonsense against you, that he's coming out to fight. Zebul had told Abimelech that early in the morning, come and fight these men and get them. You get them early in the morning. And so early more like this, when the sun was still very down, Gal noticed movement on the mountaintop. So he told Zebul, and Zebul said, no, nothing is moving. You're just seeing trees there. They are moving like men. They just look like men, but nothing is moving there. But then he knew what was happening. And then again, they kept talking and talking, and soon he also saw those things moving again. Zebul said to Gal, where is your big mouth now? Why? Come and fight. Come and fight with Abimelech. And so Abimelech, he came against the men of Gal, and he fought with them, fought against the men of Shechem, and he ran after them and besieged them. Now, after he had run after them, he demolished the city. He dealt with them, demolished the city. And the men of Shechem, they ran to a tower of safety. And when they ran into the tower, they went to the upmost floor, they locked the door. And Abimelech saw this and was like, he went up to a mountain and he took his ass and he cut down firewood from a tree. And then he said to the men with him, "Do as I have done, and do fast, fast." And so they did as he had done, and they followed him, and they carried the firewood to the place, and they set the tower on fire. And about 1,000 men and women died at the fire. Since Abimelech demolished the city, he carried salt and poured in the place. And when salt is poured into a place, it has a significance. And it is a declaration: this place is desolate, it is not productive. Because when salt and the soil meet, it can reduce the productivity of the soil. So let's go back to the story. Now, Abimelech went to Thebes and camped against it and came to collect the city. And so when he came to the city, he began to have a war in the city. Was just coming and killing and besieging and getting lands. And the men in the city, they ran and they went to a tower called the Tower of Strength. It was the tower of one of their gods. They went to the Tower of Strength. Now, I'm not being very detailed about this because I'm trying to watch my space. Abimelech and his men came. Abimelech wanted to set fire on the place, on the door of the tower. And a woman from the top of the building threw a millstone, an upper millstone on his head, and it crushed his skull. A millstone is a device used in the kitchen. They use it to grind grain into flour. And so it was quite heavy. And the woman threw it and it broke his skull. And when he broke his skull, he said to his armor bearer, come and kill me. Let them not say a woman killed me. And so the armor bearer thrust him through with a knife and he died. That was how Abimelech died. The men of Shechem died. And the curse of Jotham came through. And indeed, God rewarded the wickedness of this man, especially against his own brethren, back to him. God is a just God, a very just God. Abimelech was a wicked guy. And this story can be found in the book of Judges chapter 9. Thank you so much for watching this video with me. And yeah,